Alright guys, well we are back in the basement, and today we are looking at my LiftMaster 8587WL finally. I finally got this thing fixed, solved the force issue this thing was having. If you remember back in that long update video, I had mentioned I was going to hit up LiftMaster, since this thing is made February 8th, 2021. So actually in another week it's going to be exactly 3 years old. But these have 5-year parts warranties, so I figured I'd hit them up and see if they'd cover it, which they did, and I'll get to what this needed to be fixed in a second. But so I mean, obviously this thing is not exactly in the greatest shape, as you guys know. So this unit, like I said, was made in 2021, and it has about 6,000 cycles on it, is how many it had when I got it. You can see, first of all, that the sprocket in it has been replaced before. This is a newer one that the chassis is not powder coated, but obviously since the sprocket is powder coated, that means that it has been replaced. This is the change spreader on it. It's got a crack in it. You can kind of see the line. Hold up. This thing will focus. There you go. You can kind of see the line there. So, and then, I mean, you guys know how this thing sounds. The motor in this thing is extremely loud. It's not supposed to be loud, but it is. And then the biggest thing is that this machine would randomly set off the force. I've never put this on any of my doors, but I could just be running it off the rail and it'll trip the force randomly. Which, by the way, I have, as you guys know, I have several 3/4 horsepower Chamberlain LiftMaster machines, and the newer they are, the quieter they are. So I have the 8557 up there. I'm not really going to count that one since it was new in the box. And I also have that Craftsman screwdriver right there, and that one's built differently, so we're not going to count that one either. But I have a 2595, a 3595 right there. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not. Yeah, kind of. That red one under the Craftsman screwdriver is a 3575, and I have a 3585 right here. So those ones are all extremely quiet machines. And then I have 3 MyQ 3/4 machines. I have this one. This is a Chamberlain model PD 752 KEV, which I'll run this one for you since I don't think I've shown it off the rail yet. But I have this one. I have an 8587W from 2016, and then I have this one. This one is obviously, well, this one's the newest, and it's also the loudest. That one, it's not quite as bad as that 8587, but it's still loud. It's still louder, a little louder than it should be. And this one, this Chamberlain, it's not necessarily the motor that's loud in it. It's just you can hear some bearing noises and whatnot. But anyways, we're gonna get on to what I need, what this thing needed, or what I got for this thing to get fixed. I got a travel module, another travel module, and then I got a new board. This is the original board out of it. So yeah, I always kind of had a feeling it was the board that was bad in this, because usually if the travel modules failed, so this, it was kind of it tripped the force pretty consistently, but it was kind of, the amount of time it would run before it tripped the force kind of varied. Sometimes it'd run for a few seconds and it'd trip the force. Sometimes on the way down it'd seem like it is fine, and then just before or just as it reaches the down, where the down limit would be, it trips the force. So I was pretty sure that was the board, because usually if the travel module is what's failed, it'll run the same amount of time every time. But that's what, and you know, it's warranty parts. It's not like I can really tell them what to send me. So they sent me a travel module and I put it in. That didn't fix it. So they decided, well, they thought the travel module they sent me was bad. So they sent me another travel module and I put that one in and it still didn't fix it. And that's when they told me, yeah, we'll send you a board, which, you know, as soon as I got the second travel module and that didn't work, I was like, yeah, it's definitely the board. Which actually, and this is just a little side note, but I did switch around the travel module from that one, which I found out that this 8587 is actually having the same issue. It also has the board doesn't connect to Wi-Fi in it, and it also has that force issue. But I was testing parts. I pulled this one apart and I put its travel module in here to test, and it still had the same issue. Which, come to find out, this one doesn't have the original travel module in it either. The opener's from 2016 and the travel module that's in there is from 2018. But for a little side note here, and for that one, I can always just pull the board out of like that 8155, or I've got an 8365 back there with Wi-Fi. But what was I going to say? Oh yeah, so I was going to try swapping boards. That's actually why I pulled this one out, is I was going to try to switch boards to see if, just to verify that was the problem. But it turns out the WLs with the lock capability, I did hook up my lock here, they actually have two extra wires on there. These openers have a bigger transformer in them, kind of like the 8550s do, and I'm assuming that's because of the lock capability. These can take up to 2 locks, and I'm guessing they need that transformer to be able to power both locks. So it was a little bit annoying having to go through all that just to get in all those parts just to get this thing working. But if anything good comes out of it, the extra parts I have, not including the parts that are in the opener, but the extra parts I have 2 travel modules, the original board, which, I mean, obviously that's bad. It's not like I'm going to use that. But I also have a second board. For whatever reason, they sent me 2 boards. So now I have 2 8587 boards. Not sure what I'm going to do with this one. I might sell it. I might keep it. I don't really know. But I think that is kind of funny. So anyway, I think I've been talking for long enough, so we'll just give each one of these a quick run here. Why don't we start with this Chamberlain? I don't believe I've shown this one off the rail yet. I do want to get this one installed on the mini door here soon. Phantom's still up right now, but I have this button hooked up. So let's run it. So yeah, I can hear there's a little bit of bearing noises in this one, but this one is overall pretty quiet. And I have an 880 hooked up to this one, which, by the way, now that I have a new board in this one, the cycle count is at 6 now, but you know, it had about 6,000 cycles when I got it, so you know, whatever the cycle count is here, just add about 6,000, and that's how many cycles it has. Which, by the way, with the new board, it is an MC board, so this now has step saver limits. It won't flash the lights when I trip the sensors, and it doesn't have that motion sensor thing when you walk through the sensors. So let's go ahead and run this one, and then that's going to be it. And there's the lock. So it's not terribly loud on the way down. It's on the way up that this thing is really loud. But I've been going on for 10 minutes here, and I think that's probably long enough for this video, so I'll end it off here. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.